So definitely see that even the work that we're doing with the platform on an operational perspective, is having a positive effect on being able to enhance and improve perceptions of the brand as a whole. We have been using it for a few months now. We just did our first kind of deep data dive and identified quite a lot of really interesting feedback, some mostly overwhelmingly positive, but some negative or some just surprising things which have informed things like pricing review that we're doing. It's informed how we plate certain dishes, and it's also informed how we're going to train certain things moving forward. So I think the early signs from a few months of using the platform are that it's doing exactly what we hoped it would do. The major motivation for rolling out Yumpingo is there's no other tool or method out there to be able to capture the sheer volume of data that you can get from this platform. And because it's structured quantitative data, it means that you can actually rely on it. So we can get feedback on specific menu items, how are they performing, what's the guest perception of value or presentation or portion size, and then our culinary teams are able to make decisions based off of thousands of data points versus maybe one or two positive or negative reviews that have come in previously. It also allows us to see whether dishes are being executed in a consistent way across the group. So there may be a dish which has amazing scores in 12 out of 14 locations, but there's an issue with portion or value or perceived presentation in 2 of the locations, and that allows us to focus in and go, okay, well, is there a training issue there? Is there a prep issue there? And be able to dive in and actually take very specific actions which are going to have an impact on guest experience. We have always been a company that's prided itself on value, so we wouldn't want to change that perception within our guests. So doing a very broad standard price increase is, can be fraught with potential pitfalls. So it's mostly been from the gut, or it's been driven by maybe commodities costs or complexity of preparation and kind of execution of the dish. Whereas now we've got so much more insight into how our guests perceive all of those dishes that it just gives us a lot more confidence on where we feel guests are going to accept a slightly higher price because the value is so high on that specific dish. Coming out of the pandemic, where we were in a very reactive mode, we've been doing a lot of off-premise, and the 4 walls environment hasn't been at the level that we want it to be. We're having an increased focus on training and basic steps of service and hospitality. And by asking guests questions specifically about those areas, we can identify, again, which stores, which shifts, and then even down to which servers are adhering to those standards. And if they're not, then it gives the GM an opportunity to coach at an individual level. So if you look at that volume of data, the fact that it's quantitative, the fact that it's very specific to either a menu item or to a trading period or a specific service actions, we can rely on the data in that it has credibility because we have critical mass, and then it's so specific it allows us to create individualized plans within the restaurants to improve hospitality or improve our service or improve food quality. All of those small things add up to an improved guest experience and hopefully repeat custom and greater sales. So that's why we're really excited about the platform. How are you going about understanding what's going on within your 4 walls? And ask them whether all of this kind of sporadic subjective feedback is giving them what they need to be able to produce actionable data and make meaningful changes within the restaurant. I honestly believe that Yumpingo is the only tool I've come across at the moment that gives operators the opportunity to capture guest feedback at a scale which gives you confidence in the information that you're collecting, and then to be able to take actions on that. Best example is you've got a really high selling item, it's really high scoring, the guest perceived value is super high, which means there's going to be some price elasticity around that specific item, which means, okay, well, if we're going to take price, it's going to be on a dish like that, which is something that's we're really confident in, that it's delivering a great guest experience, it's delivering great value, the portion size is great. So we got more room to potentially take price on an item like that than where an item that a guest, the overall guest perception is that the portion's too small, or the value's not great, or it's being executed inconsistently. So it would be much greater risk to take price on there and risk a kind of negative guest reaction. So I think the insights that we've gained from the first few months of working with Yumpingo have really kind of given us an idea of a good idea of which menu items and categories we're able to take some price, and which ones we're going to leave alone for now and look at either improving quality, consistency, plating, portion size, whatever it is, to improve the individual satisfaction scores of those items.